We moved to a much more horizontal type arrangement where we separated generation, transmission, and distribution into separate companies. And we focused largely, first and foremost, on generation as being the key because we needed to get adequate power. We then went out and did major reforms to our entire energy sector in 1997 and passed all the necessary legislation that actually opened up the generation part of the industry. And through that, commercialized our own generation entity, as he's referred to it, our KenGen, commercialized it and made it to start operating on a commercial basis and a standalone and move through with that. We then created a geothermal development company, which was largely going to tap, because one of the biggest problems we found is in order to attract private sector, we needed to first of all establish that we had proven reserves of geothermal. So our GDC, as we call it, went out ahead and started doing the key exploration. And this we invested in as a government in GDC to show and to prove that we do have adequate geothermal reserves. As a result of that, and putting in place a proper regulatory framework, and to show a success, a commercial success story in our own KenGen, we have been able to attract up to about, let's say, 30% of our energy requirements are pumped into the system by the private sector itself. We are having more private sector companies through PPPs and PPAs signing up power purchase agreements with our transmission and distribution companies. We are now on about 650 megawatts of geothermal power, which is currently accounting for approximately some 40% of our energy requirements in Kenya, and we are still pushing to expand that. But now, with the environment created, we are now asking private sector to be the ones now to take the lead. Proven reserves, proven commercially operated entities that are working and making profit and money, and we're now saying, let the private sector now come in, right, and do the rest. We have opened up the space, we have opened up the path. Private sector can now actually come in and dominate, especially the generation side of the business.